Hello, 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 hello.
Hey.
I'm so excited right now. Okay, first off, hello everybody, and welcome to A Seat at the Table. I am your host, Valentine, and today I have the privilege of sitting here and talking to an amazing visionary, Miguel Cruz, owner of J Mac Media Solutions, and located in Augusta, Georgia. So, first off, Miguel is someone who tells stories behind the lens himself. But today he is telling his story. How are you feeling today, Miguel?
I'm doing good.
How often do you get a chance to be in front of the camera?
Not often.
No.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, 2026 I will be behind the camera a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I got me and my brother are doing a podcast that we're launching, and we got a few other projects I'm gonna be working on. So it'll change next year, but up to now I'm normally on your side.
Yes, that's exciting. Okay, so tell me this. What made you create your own lane instead of waiting on somebody to hire you?
So, kind of starts with how I even started this business. It was not something that I planned on. It wasn't something that, well, most people will start as a side hustle and kind of work your way up into a thing. I was working at State Farm as a litigator in their litigation department, and then I had just bought a brand new home in Florida, and my second son was about to be born, about a week or so, and they let me go from just out of nowhere. So I had to figure out what to do because I went from a six-figure salary pretty much to zero from one day to another, and my son was coming in a week. So I was like, I don't got time to sit down and figure. I got a week to figure this out, and that's how I started this business. And it was very hard because obviously photography and videography and just social media in general, it's so saturated now. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
So it was the first 2 years was very difficult. But going into year 3, which is this year, moving from Florida to the CSRA in April, everything just took off. Yeah. Like it just lit instantly within a month. Like my wife was able to quit her job, my business 5x after like 3 months, and it really just comes down to I think just my personal brand that I've built. I've been very intentional with building my brand over the last 3 years, and it's just something where it's all the business acumen that I have over a decade experience working in corporate America in management, and then taking my ability to just tell a good story. I just found a way to make it connect, and it just works. And that's what I think really has helped me create my own lane. It's just my raw, authentic ability to just tell engaging stories.
When was that first moment? Because I'm sure you didn't just start as a kid. I mean, not a kid, as an adult, like picking up a camera. So when was that first moment that you felt like this is something that, because, you went one route. Yeah. So this is kind of like, this was probably a plan A, but people said, no, you should do something else. Yeah. And then here you are doing what you are passionate about, obviously, because you are an amazing, at doing it. So when did you fall in love with storytelling and media and that? Like, when did you fall in love with the camera?
So I fell in love with storytelling at a very young age. I'm a pastor's kid. My wife's a pastor's daughter. So when you grow up in church, a good preacher knows how to be a good storyteller. Keep the congregation from falling asleep during the sermons, right? So just growing up in that kind of environment. And then also, I was born and raised in Miami. So Miami is so different from up here. And I say up here in the South, which is funny. But, it's just, growing up in a Puerto Rican home, our culture is very dynamic, very charismatic, very loud, very food-centric, family-centric. We're always joking, we're always laughing and having a good time. So I feel like the love for storytelling really started at a very early age. And then as far as the media and, you know, kind of falling in love with the photography and videography, again, that, you know, I kind of did photography just with my phone, just going up, everyone's always doing photos, but, and it's funny because the first year in business that I started doing this, I wasn't even passionate about it yet. I started it because I needed money quick.
Right.
Because I didn't want to lose my house. I didn't want to lose everything. So even the first year doing this business, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't even passionate about it. It was more out of a necessity, which is probably why it was the worst year in business, because I was looking at it as more survival mode, not really like I enjoy doing this. But it wasn't really until about last summer, that's when I was at a point where like, man, I'm really starting to see, you know, not only me loving to, like my love for telling a story, but I just got really good at bringing out the most from people's stories when they're trying to tell it. Some people, not even some people, everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has a story to tell. Some people just don't know how to get it out there. And then I realized, like, man, I'm really good at sitting down with people and bringing that story out of them. And then when they start seeing it on video and they're seeing themselves talking, and most people that I sit down with, I hate being on camera. And then when they see the final video, they're like, oh my God, I look at me, you know, it's like, that moment right there, it's like, hey, you see, like, you know,
because you see them,
right?
That's what makes a good eye.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna put it on a mechanical. That's what makes a good eye. The eye.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm posing for a photographer, I know when they see me because the pictures come out bomb.
They killing it.
They don't see me when the pictures and you looking at like, what was they looking at? Like they don't see me.
Yeah.
But you gotta
have the eye for it, right?
And you have that eye.
And I didn't realize it until way after the fact. And even just when I approach, because video is easy to capture stories. You can put, you have a nice camera, a good soundtrack, and all of a sudden, oh man, it's a nice video. But when you're doing photography, like, I feel like sometimes it's a lot harder to even captivate emotion in a photo because there's no movement, there's no music, and that's what I love. So even my approach when I'm doing photography, I always try to think like, what emotion are we doing here? So it's like my approach. I mostly work with businesses. I do a lot of branding. So whether it's at a salon or a med spa, like I'm thinking like candid, the random interactions between the business owner and their client, stuff like that. It's just like you said. It's just. For me, everything, if there's no emotion behind it, then don't put it on the Don't put it on the timeline.
Right. What's the point? Like anybody could. That's a stock photo.
Facts. You Googled that, man.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so tell me this: what's your favorite mistake? The one that taught you the most out of it, like the biggest lesson.
That's an easy one. So my biggest mistake was thinking I can do it all by myself. My biggest mistake was thinking that I can build a business all by myself. That is not the case. And once I understood that, I started being a little bit more intentional with who I let into my circles. Because like you said earlier, sometimes people will be in your ear and tell you, man, you should, you make a Facebook post for a photographer and within 2 minutes, you got like 80 people being tagged. Every single mom... Every stay-at-home mom is a photographer. Like, you got all these things. So then a lot of people tell me, like, you ain't gonna make it. And I was like, just stay in your lane. Let me cook, man. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. And I started surrounding myself with the right people. I invested a lot of money into coaching. So, got myself a bookkeeper, got myself a CPA, got myself a tax guy. I invested a lot into mentorship, just learning how to organize my business. And then I started hiring some people because I was like, I can't do this by myself. So I feel like a lot of business owners get stuck in survival mode, and that's why I don't have a budget for that. I don't have a budget for that. Well, you're saying you don't have a budget for that because you're looking at the immediate costs.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it takes money to scale. It takes money to organize your business. And once I started once I stopped making that mistake into thinking I can run the whole thing by myself, that's when things started getting better. So now it's like, it's not just me. I have a team behind me that, you know, a lot of people don't see, and on the forefront of JMac Media, because they're working behind the scenes. They just see me, Miguel. Like, no, JMac is more than me. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that no one sees. And they're the reason why I'm here, to be honest.
Hold on a second. Okay. Here we go. This is
you making me nervous.
If your younger self
okay.
walked in right now and watched this episode, what would they say?
Damn, he gained weight. That's the first thing. Automatic. Cause my younger self was like good, like $170. So they'd be like, God, what happened, Mike? That's the first thing they'd say. Like, dang, man. But besides that, now it depends if this younger self, if they're just walking onto the scene not knowing what the last couple of years have looked like, they're like, oh man, you killing it out here. But if they've been watching the last 2 to 3 years and they're coming onto the scene, I'd probably my younger self would probably tell me, like, I can't believe you even made it through that. Like, it was tough, you know, because you know, going from, you know, this massive home income where money wasn't really, like, we were good. And then going from that to where, you know, I'm hiding my car from the repo truck and I'm barely able to even put food on the table, and my marriage is being affected, and, you know, we got foreclosure letters on our table, and I'm, you know, when I tell you I was so bad, you know, people see me now, they're like, oh, JMac, like, y'all have no idea what it took for me to even get to where I'm at now. And I actually just published my first book back in April, and it's on Amazon. And that's why it's titled When All Else Fails. And I shared my story because, you know, there are a lot of men struggling right now. A lot of dads out here struggling because finances is, you know, economy is not really the greatest. And there are a lot of families struggling in silence. So I feel like if my younger self was just kind of standing there, he'd tell me, like, man, I can't believe you made it through. And I'd be like, yeah, me neither. I can't even believe it. But, you know, and then if I was able to, you know, tell anyone else, you know, in this room, that's what I tell them, like, you know, you're not the only one struggling financially. Trust me. It's not just you. A lot of us are. You know, don't be embarrassed about it. Don't be scared to ask for help. Don't be scared to reach out to a neighbor. You know, just drop the ego, humble yourself, and you know, don't be embarrassed to ask for help.
Do you think that is a part of what kind of saved you, being able to be humble, kind of, and like you said, ask for help?
Yeah, it was, you know, because I went so long. I went such a long time just always making good money. I was always up there in that near that six figure, you know, our home. So, you know, going from that to essentially nothing the way we did, you know, it almost it reminded me two things. One, it reminded me that just like that, we can lose control of everything, but as long as we got God in our corner, like, if it wasn't for God, I would not have made it through that season. But the second thing it did remind me was that, like, I got too comfortable with my own ability to provide. So when I lost that, it almost like recreated, like, it recreated and reminded me of my internal values. Was just like, you got to learn how to depend on God on everything. Like, you cannot do this by yourself. He's the ultimate provider, and just like he gives, he can take away just like that. And I lost my sense of dependability on God when I had everything, because, you know, I'm making it work. It's me. So then when it gets too much of, oh, look what I'm doing, look at the life I'm giving my family, and then it got taken away, I was like, oh, that sucks. So it reminded me, like, all right, let me not ever let myself get to that point again where I'm making it all about me when I know it's not.
So did that bring you back then to God?
100%.
Yes.
And the thing, what's crazy is that I never really lost sight of him, because he's my everything. And it's like, I didn't stop going to church. Like, I'm still active. I still read my Bible every day and stuff like that. So it was like, it just kind of changed my mindset in the sense that, like, man, you know, what goodness looks like, I guess, if that makes sense. Because it's like, even though we went through this, technically, not a day went by that at least my boys and my wife did not eat. Like, no matter how much our account was in the negative, I can go on and on about times, all these random miracles.
Yeah.
So, you know, it definitely reshaped my whole mindset again and brought me back to my roots. And it's not like I came from money. Like, I know for sure we did not come from money. So, you know, but we made it out of that, and I got to the good part, and then God had to bring me back to the bad part again, and I was like, dang, all right. So now we're up here in the CSRA. Everything took off. I'm closer to family, closer to my brother, my mom, my cousins, and but I got to remind myself with how much JMac Media has blown up here. I always be reminding myself, don't do it again, don't make the same mistake. Keep it humble, because I don't want to end up in that same situation again.
One thing that I try to do is I give back a lot. I do for people a lot. I adopt families, Christmas time, throughout the year. If I see somebody out, I buy food, you know, to feed somebody. Like, I do a lot of giving for
That's
people.
How it should be.
And I feel like God continues to bless me because of that, you know, because a lot of people think that giving is financial, and it doesn't necessarily.
Money, anyone can find money. That's easy.
Exactly.
But like time, like that's, once you give someone your time, you can get in that back.
Yeah.
You know, and they think you got to be a millionaire to like bless people. No, you really don't. You know, because so that's valid. I like that.
Okay. So who do you do this for?
Oh, my boys, 100%. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
Becoming a dad was literally the most fulfilling thing that's ever happened in my life. So once we had our boys, because a couple of things happened. Like, you know, I got married, and obviously there was a lot of things that I changed about myself. And people say, you shouldn't change for your, like, no, there's things that, you know, you got to adjust, and the dynamic shifts and character things. And I, you know, I'm about to be 7 years married now, and there's things that I do now that I didn't do before, and there was stuff that I used to do before that I don't do now, right? But it's all to better that. But man, when my boys came out, I realized, like, everything I do, everything I say, every conversation I have, every interaction, every word I speak, all affects them. Yeah. And now, you know, it's like I gotta think twice before I raise my voice at home, or because they're watching, or I gotta think twice with the words that come out of my mouth because they listening. I gotta think twice about the way I interact with people because they're watching, right? So it's like, you know, it really just rewired me, because now I gotta think everything I do, because especially that, like, my boys are 2 and 4, they be like my 2-year-old, I swear anything I do, he's behind me trying to copy it, and it just be reminding me, like, I really gotta be careful with what I do, what I say, how I treat people, because they really are just mimicking everything I do. So they're my wise. I love my boys, Dariel and Caleb. They're my everything. I'm obsessed with them.
So in a few years, when if they look back and see this video, what's a message that you would like to leave for them?
You better be listening to your mama. I just let them know, like, you know, all the sacrifice. Hopefully by the next few years, I'm at a point where I'm barely working and this is just running itself. But if it's not, I just want them to know, like, all the sacrifices, you know, all the late evenings, sometimes on the weekends when dad's not home and it's just mommy, like, I didn't do it because I didn't want to be present. I'm doing it because I'm trying to be more present. Right. But I got to build this up, and that everything I did is for them.
So what is the future with JMac Media Solutions? What are we doing?
That is a great question.
Where are we going with this?
So that's a great question. So actually, this last month and a half was honestly my worst months, but not because I ain't killing it, but I purposely took a step back from sales and promoting myself, because I've been working on exactly that. Like, what is 2026 looking like? What is the next steps? And there's some things I'm not going to mention because it's a huge surprise. But I know one of the things we're pivoting to, which I've already announced it so I can share it, but obviously we do social media management, marketing, content creation. But there's a lot of business owners that I've spoken with, and they'll be like, well, we have an in-house photographer. We got a girl that posts for us on our socials. But they just need some guidance, or maybe just at least, we just need someone to come in and kind of just hold them accountable, kind of like a consultant. So I kept hearing this, and I was like, well, I guess that's what we're going to start doing. So that's the service that I'm adding starting 2026. Is social media consulting. So that way it gives the business owners, they still have full control of the content they're doing and the posting, and they can keep everything in-house. But I'm able to come in with my expertise and sit down with their in-house team. Once a month, we put together a plan, and I give them the blueprint. I help them create the strategy, and then y'all can go ahead and do it, and we'll meet next month and see how that worked, and we'll adjust as we need. So that is one of the things that we're looking to pivot to. And it's just easier for me. It only takes an hour, 2 hours a month, and then see you next month. And then the other thing is, I'm not going to say the number, but I am hard capping next year on how many clients that we're going to be having in total. And the reason why I want to do that is, one, we're pivoting to more like high ticket, low volume. So I don't want like 30 clients. I'd rather have 5 that pay a lot, and I'm good. And doing that because I have my podcast that I'm launching. I really do want to pivot my time to also helping my brother at the church. That's why I moved up here. He's pastoring, and I really want to invest a lot more time into that ministry with him. So that's a big reason why I'm starting to adjust things, and I just feel like, just the story that I have, I want to get it out more. So I'm looking to get into public speaking. Like, I'm halfway writing my second book, following up from the first one, and it's starting to open up some doors for public speaking, motivational speaking. So I'm looking into some certifications for like becoming like a certified motivational speaker, stuff like that. So these are all things that I'm working on, which is why I'm making that pivot next year with JMAC.
Okay, and I picked that up from you when I came in. When we started talking, I was like, he would be good at public speaking. So for you to say that that's something that you're going to venture into.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome for you.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. That means, hey, you are in alignment.
That's right. Let's go.
Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about personally?
I will share this, and I've said it a million times. I was just filming some content earlier, and made another video. I made like 10, and people ain't getting it, so I'm going to say it to them blue in the face. And I tell every business owner that I've worked with up here, where with the way AI is coming in now, there's so much stuff on the internet, and it's just like, AI is going to replace everything. Like, I promise you, if anything, it's going to be the opposite. The more AI develops, the more people are going to actually gravitate towards real human connection, real stories. People are gonna get tired of watching those random AI videos with a fat person running in a Jello cake. That's gonna get tiring eventually, right? So nothing will ever replace human connection. So on that note, just think twice before you speak, before you post something on Facebook. Think twice. How does this help my personal brand? My business, I've scaled it to where it's now. I don't run ads. I haven't run ads in a minute. My personal Facebook, I'm almost at 15,000 followers. I don't run ads. I've just been for years posting content that people relate to. So before you think, or before you speak, before you write, before you post, just really think, how does this help my personal branding? And then put God at the center of it. That's the biggest cheat code. I be telling people, I am not doing nothing differently here in the CSRA than what I was doing in Florida, and yet I'm making double the amount of income I am here than I was in Florida. I haven't done nothing differently. That's just God. When you position yourself in your business, and He looks down and decides to say, all right, you've paid your dues, it's time. That's the cheat code right there. Ain't nothing stopping you at that point. So that's my message for anyone who's watching this video, not just in business, but in general. Like, if there's ever a time to get right with them, is now. So stop playing games.
Okay, so I got 2 more questions.
Go for it.
My first question is, what does it mean? Because this will be a segment that I'm introducing and I'm gonna start doing on every episode with everybody.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to have a seat at a table? You built your seat at your table. What does that mean to you?
Man, that is a deep question. Because, Jesus, there's a lot of layers to that question. I think the first thing that comes to mind is making sure that I make my seat at the right table. There's a lot of tables out there. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a lot of people inviting you to their table. Mm-hmm. But you got to be aware and just have discernment enough to know, is this the table I need to be even sitting at, mm-hmm. right? So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And secondly, not just whose table you're at, but what's being fed at that table, like, or what, what's being presented on table. What are you eating at that table? Those are the first 2 things that really come to my mind, is being aware of that as well, not only just who you're sitting with, but what's being served to you, mm-hmm. right? Because you can be at the right table with the wrong food, and you can be at the wrong table and they presenting, like, it's one of those things that you really just gotta clear your mind, pray, make sure you're doing the right, because he could have everything perfectly aligned for you, and then you choose the wrong table and you just lost everything, even though it was for you. And people be complaining, Lord, I've been waiting forever. I was like, I've been at it for you, but you went to the wrong table. Mm-hmm. Right. And all of a sudden you blaming God. It's not him.
Right. You being hard-headed. Mm-hmm. Don't be hard-headed.
That's right. Don't get crazy.
Don't do it. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay. This one, quick round.
Okay.
Quick round and rapid fire.
Oh, it's like Family Feud. All right.
So, legacy or luxury?
Legacy, 100%.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings. I fall asleep.
What's one unpopular opinion you swear by?
Oh, quick fire. Politics don't matter.
If your art could speak, what would it say?
If my heart?
Your art.
Oh, my art.
Mm-hmm.
I see you.
Mm-hmm. And I see you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you being here with me, and I appreciate you sharing yourself with me and our followers. Where can we find you?
So on Facebook, I have my personal page, which is the one I'm most active. Just type my name, Miguel William Cruz. On Instagram, it's jmacmedia_. And then my website's jmacmediasolutions.com. Yeah, and then once I get the podcast launched up with my brother, it's called the 832 podcast. Romans 832. I think it's Romans that we chose. I'm almost certain it's Romans 832. So y'all can look it up and figure out why we're doing it. But yeah, that's where you can find us.
So it's going to be an audio or video podcast?
It's going to be filmed right here in the studio.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Y'all look that up. We're going to put the information for you in the description. And in the captions. If you have any questions for Miguel, you don't hesitate to reach out. Get your stuff together. Get on his calendar before he get busy. Nah, he ain't gonna get too busy because he got a team. And
that's right.
If you got any questions for me, if you got anybody you want to see on a seat at the table, hit me up. Let me know. Drop it in the comments.
We had a blast, so don't be wasting your time.
Oh yeah.
Get on here.